Today we got a 2001 Volvo S60. It's the non-turbo. We had a coolant light come on the dash saying that the coolant is low. We should turn off the car ASAP. We've went ahead and already replaced the thermostat and the coolant temperature sensor in this car because that's more of a major problem, but the parts were really cheap, so we just did it and it was a really easy fix. I'll show you what we did right there. And then also what's potentially now, I'm thinking it's the problem, is the actual sensor or the float inside the reservoir. That's never been replaced, so it might be getting stuck. Some people, I guess, clean them out. I'm not going to clean them out. I don't have time. This car's got to go to LA today, so I'm doing a quick video to show you. See, hopefully we can fix the problem. So let me show you what it's doing first in the dash, and then now in case you have something similar to this, maybe this video will help. Okay. Vehicle. This is what we're getting. Right now it's saying this, but once we start it up, it's showing coolant level low, stop engine. Okay, so this issue, I'm believing now that it's going to be the float inside the reservoir. So now, we really don't have time, I don't have time to actually just replace the sensor and check it. So I already purchased the tank, so I'm going to replace the tank because that's where the float is. The sensor is magnetic. I mean, it's shorting out. It could be just the sensor. Both parts, I think, costed me wholesale about $85 or something like that. But these are original Volvo parts that I got. So we're going to go ahead and let me show you what I did before this. I already went ahead and replaced the thermostat, which is inside of here. It's pretty easy. You take off these two Torx 30s, and then there's two little clamps on the sides, and this cover comes out, and it gives you access to get inside of here. All I did was put a rag under there. I didn't even drain the coolant. I took these two Torx 40s out. This just pops right up. And then the thermostat sits in there with its own gasket. There's no actual gasket around. It's just like a rubber gasket. So I pulled that out. And then right behind here, you have your temperature sensor, which basically unscrews. And then the plug is right next to it right here. So you just unclip it from here, slide that out, and then put it right back in. And it has a little washer on that coolant temperature sensor, so make sure that it has that little washer when you put it back in, or you take it out, you don't lose the old one if the new one doesn't come with one. So we're going to go ahead now, we're going to remove this tank. So the first step in doing that is you want to go ahead and take this power steering tank out of the way. And mine was a little bit tough, so I know some people have said that it's pretty easy. So normally what you do is you just stick your screwdriver in here and kind of wedge it. You see what's going on there? You kind of want to wedge it so that this little flap flaps out, and then you pull up, and then that will pop up and get it out of the way. So you kind of want to get that out of the way as best you can. And then next we're going to do is we're going to remove this little clamp here. We're going to have to get a new clamp for that because these ones are the original ones. So we're going to replace that. And then there's one more hose underneath that we need to take off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this back on here because I'm going to try not to have to drain any coolant out of here. So what I'll do is I'll take this off first. I'll kind of flip it over. I'll cover this up with something, and then I'll unbolt the bottom hose, and then just put this in a different container, and then we'll reuse the coolant that we left, and we'll just fill it up with new coolant, to the fill line. So all I did was just take an extension on there, and that pretty much will keep the fluid from coming out of there. And then just stick a rag under here just in case it starts leaking from that bigger hose as you're pulling it out. Now the sensor is right under here. Let's see if we can get you in there. The sensor's right under here. I can't tell if that's bad or not, but this just unsnaps. Just like that. So if you had to replace that, you could just replace that pretty easy. This is the leveling sensor that just came out of there. And then there's a plug right down here that we need to take off. Sometimes they're a little finicky getting them out. There, okay, and you just push down right there, and then that comes right out. Push on this side right here, it comes out. I've already taken this off once, so it probably was a little bit easier for it to come out. There you go. So if you were just going to replace this, which I could do if you know, if I had a little bit more time to check it, but I got to get this car out of here. So look at that. It's pretty bad. So it's possible that if we clean this out, we'll probably be able to fix it. I just don't have the time to have to take it off, wash it, clean it. And I want to do a quick video on there, so I want to make sure I can try to get something on film here. Face this up, like so. Now we will get some coolant coming out of probably the hose. Look at my rags down there. Perfect. Didn't lose any coolant, except what's coming out of here. Okay, so then we're just going to dump this out the funnel. And just dump that. I had actually already had replaced this coolant in this car, so it's fairly clean. It's just down here you can see on this tank it's pretty dirty down there, so that might be why it's sticking. Okay, so we have our new sensor from Volvo 307 41155. All we're going to do there is plug that back in to that spot. So go ahead and just plug that back in there. And then we'll take our new tank, Volvo part number 307 41973. See, you can hear that on that tank. I mean, seems like it's working. Even on the old one, but I don't know. Maybe it is just this sensor down here. So we're going to go ahead and plug that in, and it just snaps in. There it goes. Snap right into place. So go ahead, and then we're just going to plug that hose back in. I'm trying to get that clamp on there. Tighten that down. It's tight. And this hose, take a little portion out of there, and then we have a little clamp for that. Put that hose in. Clamp. Tighten that down, and then we'll go ahead and put that right back down there. Take our deal here. There it is. Pushing down on here to snap it into place. Make sure that this lip doesn't grab on the lip of the tank. I have to push that like that, and then it snaps down. I was having a problem. That's probably what I couldn't get it out earlier too. I was having a little bit of an issue there trying to unsnap it. It wouldn't come up. Maybe you have to push that like that and then release that there. We're going to go ahead and fill it with coolant now. Now this one is a 50-50 mix. I know you could use the one that Volvo recommends. I've been running this in here and I haven't had any issues with it, so I'm not going to worry about it. So we're going to go ahead and start it up. We're going to let it run for a little bit so it gets the air out of the system if there's any air in there. Run till it actually gets the car gets warmed up, and then you'll go ahead and then cover this up with the cap. And then you can go ahead and refill it later if you see that the coolant's a little bit low. But I don't think we leaked a whole lot out of here, so I think we're good. I don't think we have any air in the system. But we're just going to go ahead just to make sure. But what I do want to show you is that light did shut off. What you can do to get the air out of the system is to turn the heater, turn your heater on all the way on hot. Then it runs through the heater core and warms up. But that light is out now, so we're good. So I'm assuming it's probably the tank. The float on the tank was bad. But I didn't want to take any chances. I know the sensor was like $30-something, but you know what? It's not worth the headache sometimes to save $30. So we're gonna let this run. The temperature is actually, I was working on this and it was still warm, so normally wait till it's cooled down. So usually it sits right about in the middle, so it's already almost warm. But what was nice was that tank, this has really good flow on it. It didn't feel that hot. I think I only let the car sit for about 10 minutes. Get a nice green coolant in there now. So now basically what I'll do, just like I said, let it get warmed up, and then we'll go ahead and refill it if it needs any more coolant in there.